So the big question is this: how are those in the self-storage industry like us going to be successful in today's market? That's the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is Jim Ross, and welcome to the Self-Storage Show. Hi everyone, this is Jim Ross in the Self-Storage Show, and this episode we're continuing our series. We're doing a speaker spotlight for the upcoming ISS World Expo in Vegas here, upcoming in April. Today I got Mike Castleman. How's it going, Mike?
Hello, hello.
Thanks for taking the time and joining me here.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, kind of just, if you don't mind, just tell me a little about yourself.
Well, I am a operator here in the Dallas Metroplex here in Texas. Own 4 properties, ranging in size from about 27,000 square feet up to a little over 50,000 square feet in size. I've only been in self-storage for the last 3.5 years, which kind of plays into the thing I'm going to speak on, the topic I'm going to speak on.
Yeah.
At ISS, which is basically anatomy of a startup, kind of how I got going, and not just my story, but just kind of the process of having been someone sitting in the ISS audience literally 4 years ago, without any facilities, without having even resigned from my prior job yet.
Really?
How to trying to figure it out. So my background, I was in the tech industry for a dozen years or 10 years, and in the real estate industry as a kind of economist / consultant for a number of years, and sold those companies, and now I'm in the self-storage business.
Oh, great. So, that's you're like the perfect person to be speaking then. If you're like, what, 4 years ago you were in the audience and listening and taking it all in and talking to people, and now you're
and that's the premise, because in ISS in particular, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I'd sold my company. I was still working for the folks that bought us. I was doing M&A work for them, and just trying to figure out, where do I go to research this thing called self-storage. I had some opinions about self-storage, but they were just opinions. And
sure.
I was directed to the ISS show, and I just signed up and went and sat in on as many sessions as I could. And as I came out of it, over the last couple of years, I've had a lot of conversations individually with folks who are saying, I want to get in self-storage, or I'm just starting out. And I've kind of the thought process of kind of just encapsulating, here's one way. Here was my experience. Here's a roadmap. There's all kinds of different ways. Here's how the path I took, and the issues I encountered, the opportunities I embraced, the mistakes I made, the things that went well. I think a lot of people, I never heard that story when I went through it. I had a lot of things here, things to do, experts, and this, that, or the other, but I never really kind of heard the A plus B plus C, kind of day in the life, how, from the person actually doing it.
Well, that's exactly why I reached out to you. When I saw your topic, I'm like, I gotta talk to Mike here, because having like a case study like that, you're exactly right. You hear, no knock against other people and all that, but you hear so much generalities, people talking generalities, which is great. You can kind of pick up things here and there. But I think like a case study of like, this is what I did, this is what I physically did, like you said, A to B to C.
Yeah.
To going from attending a show to actually owning a site now and doing that startup, I think that's so much more valuable that people will get a lot out of it.
Well, I hope there's something to share there, and specifically, those, I am in that category of, I'm not an investor. I'm not using other people's money and kind of working for, I've taken my capital, and I haven't hired property management. I'm an owner operator.
You're in.
But I've dealt with property management, and I have there's a story there that the bottom line is that there's no one way, and you just got to leverage your strengths and figure out what you know, what you don't. Trying to tap into what you don't know is very important without discounting what you do know.
Yep.
So anyway, it's been fun.
Just curious myself, like when you're at these shows going back 4 years ago, how much of it was, listening to speakers and, making notes and that kind of thing, or more of the networking and those kind of connections that you got? Or was it kind of a little bit of both?
It was both.
Yeah.
The networking, it's interesting. The networking was valuable from a knowledge standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
In my prior life, professional life, networking was very beneficial from a transaction standpoint and doing business.
Yeah.
Whereas this was really more about knowledge transfer, gaining information to try and employ ideas or just knowledge. Because, my business is encapsulated into a small little 3-mile circles of Dallas, Texas, versus, I'm trying to do business in Houston or Austin or Seattle or whatever. So it was, the networking didn't transfer to doing business in the market that I was in. Does that make, with those people I was networking with?
Yeah.
So it was really about knowledge and leveraging other people's experience, other people's expertise, thoughtfully and creatively. And, and in terms of, then the classes themselves were the same thing. It was about information and validating. A lot of it ended up being validating what I was thinking about, what I was thinking about doing, and then encountering the things that are like hard stops. Whoa, I know you thought that was a good idea, but no, that's really not such a good idea. Sure. But because you're looking for those traps, but at the same time, it's always beneficial to affirming kind of your choice of, hey, I want to be in self-storage. You kind of want some of the thoughts of why you were going to do self-storage validated and, early on, rather than just, I just want to learn it and hope I'm doing something worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been both.
Oh, that's great. No, you got a lot out of it, and in fact, I had no idea that's how it was before I talked to you. That was your story. So no, I'm excited. I'll be in the audience checking out your presentation. So again, like for the anatomy of a storage startup, kind of like case study. What's kind of like the broad strokes of how you're going to have this structured?
Well, there's in my particular case, I had a technology background and I had a real estate kind of analysis background for forecasting, kind of looking at emerging markets, and home builders were my clients.
Oh, okay.
And developers, and so I kind of lived in the universe of path of growth and new employing technology in your business in kind of separate career tracks. And so sure. I was just sitting there, I was trying to figure out, well, how can I take my 23 years of professional experience and apply it in an area, in the next, act of my life, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I had come across self-storage as and the catchphrase was a great real estate play, this, that, or the other, apartment rents at half the expense.
Yeah. Yep.
So, so there's the catchphrase, right? That's the hook. Wow, that's really interesting. It sounds, it's what a lot of people are talking about. But it's just a catchphrase. It doesn't really capture the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I guess broadly speaking, I went to ISS the first time to see if my expertise translated.
Sure.
Was I going to be able to take this tech background and would it have any value operationally in my effort? Was I going to be able to take my real estate background and employ it in such a way that it was going to contribute, to kind of moving the ball forward? Mm-hmm. And while on one hand, the answer was yes to both of those things for me, the other thing that I kind of felt like I came across was I don't say this in any kind of, I don't want to discount knowledge and expertise, but like anything that one endeavors in any entrepreneurial fashion, I also came to the conclusion that experience in self-storage wasn't necessary to being successful. Experience. That doesn't mean you don't need information and knowledge and things to learn.
Sure.
But I had affirmed for me that I didn't need to come to the table with, a half dozen years of having been in self-storage development or been in the marketing, having interacted with REITs or kind of a knowledge base myself of experience to give it a go. So that was my first affirmation point was there was no education hurdle or experience hurdle that said, ooh, the mountain is higher than it looks. And so that was very encouraging and kind of got me really fired up. And that was the moment where I said, all right, I'm in. I'm going to do this.
Well, so. And sometimes having a lot of experience in the past can actually get in your way sometimes. If you have a different perspective and bringing your own experience into it, you can create something special. You don't have other people's experience, saying you got to do it this way or this is the way to do it. No, you have your own spin to it. So I think it's great.
As great as it is to have someone share with you what not to do and take that as, oh, that helped me from a problem.
A pitfall, yeah.
Yeah, well, often experiencing the pitfall is more of a learning opportunity than being warned off it. I don't want to do that for everything, but I've definitely learned a lot more from the errors and mistakes than the successes.
Yep.
So.
No, well, that's great. Well, again, hopefully this is enough to kind of whet the appetite for people to, want to come and experience the full presentation, what you have to give. I know we're a few months out, but you're going to have a lot of value. I can already tell. I'll be there, so it's be great.
Well, and the great thing about it is that I've got a acquisition story, I've got a development story, I've got kind of a SBA story, conventional financing story. I've kind of just in a short period of time I've kind of I've utilized property management. I did have one deal where I had some financial partners involved, which I don't have anymore. I sold that. But I've really hit on a lot of the there's a lot of marks I've hit in this very short journey where I've kind of drawn some early conclusions, that might change my path over the time, but that really have me directed on the path I want to go on now with this. So
you've packed a lot in a short period of time, so I'm looking forward to see what you have to say.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to it myself.
Well, good. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Mike. Thank you for taking the time, and I'll see you in a few months in Vegas.
All right. Look forward to it.
All right. Take care.
You bet. Bye-bye.